Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Venus and I am doing a reading blog for The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. The weather in Maryland has finally become sunny. It's Saturday, April 2nd, and I'm running errands, and I decided to just do a reading vlog. I'm going to do a book review anyway on The Hunger of Gods. I have an arc for it, so I figured I would just make it into a vlog. So today I am actually outside of Trader Joe's right now, so I'm going to run in there and get a few things. I don't really go to Trader Joe's too often, but I have seen a lot of products recently advertised or other people buy them that I'm really interested in trying at Trader Joe's, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. Trader Joe's is also in the same shopping center as Barnes & Noble, so I mean, come on, Barnes & Noble. We're going to do a little book haul, see what they have over there, and yeah, so I'm probably going to do a grocery haul from Trader Joe's, so I will definitely have chapters linked below so you can skip ahead if you're not interested in that. I like watching grocery hauls, especially from Trader Joe's, because that's how I get ideas on what to get from there. So let's talk about The Hunger of the Gods. I am about 15% into the book and I love it so much. It literally picks up right where the first book ended, like literally. There is a new point of view. I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm very excited to hear what's going on in their mind after the end of the first book. Let's just say that. There's already been a couple reveals that have been really kind of jaw-dropping for me that is really propelling the storyline even more as far as like how more about the gods, basically. I'll say that. So I am going to keep this spoiler free, obviously, but so that's what I have right now. Same wonderful writing style, loving the characters as usual, and the storyline is digging deeper into the gods. That's what I will say for now. So I'm going to go do some shopping and check in with you guys later. See ya.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go.
grocery haul. I didn't, want to go through each and every single item that I bought. My fruits and vegetables and meats and all that stuff I get from our local grocery store. So you'll see most of the Trader Joe's stuff was like frozen things that I can make really quickly. And most of it I haven't tried. I've seen other people talk about them, so I was interested in trying some of those things out. The only thing that I have tried that is really, really good, I will say, is the buffalo chicken dip. It is so good, I've already cracked it open. So if you're wondering about that, that is very, very good. And I want to try the protein bars. Supposedly they taste like candy. We'll see. Let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about what I got from Barnes & Noble. So for nostalgia reasons, the first book that I got was Bunnicula. First of all, it's like so tiny. In my brain, in my memory, I thought this book was the same size as this one. It's not. Oh gosh, it's like, I don't even know if it's 50 pages. And the font is huge. It's 98 pages. So anyway, this was one of my favorite childhood books that I read. It's a whole series, and it's just about this bunny that sucks the juice, vegetable juice from vegetables. I don't even really remember the story, the family that owns him, or anything. So I am interested in giving this a quick read. It'll probably take me like 20 minutes. It's cute though. I'm excited to have it on my bookshelf. And then the next book that I got is Hollowpox. This is a middle grade book also. This is the third book in the Morgan Crow, what's it called? The Hunt. I don't know what this series is called. The Nevermore series. Because I just finished Nevermore and Wondersmith last month in March and really, really enjoyed the reread of the first book and loved the second book as well. They're cute. So this is pretty thick for a middle grade book, but I am looking forward to reading this. It's middle grade fantasy. This one I've heard so much about. It is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes, and it's like a space ghost ship, a space ghost ship story. I don't know anything else. You know how I roll. I don't like reading a lot about thriller books. The inside cover I rarely read, but all the little blurbs on the back. Okay, first of all, it's kind of creepy. Look at the little words there. Are they written in blood? I don't know. This is a sci-fi horror book, and the blurbs on the back, one of them says, a stomach-turning, sinister space horror. Another says, creepy and satisfying. I'll be checking under my bed tonight. I love this one. This one sold me because I love the Alien movies so much. They're old. I'm dating myself as usual, but if you've never heard of them and you like sci-fi, the Alien movies are really good. This says, I've always considered Alien the high mark of sci-fi horror. No longer. Dead Silence leaves it in the dust. Those are some big shoes to fill. I can't wait to read this. Also says, compulsive reading at its best, a sci-fi horror so expertly delivered, you'll be peeking through your fingers until the last page. I can't wait to read this. So that's what I got. I tried to be good and not get too many things from there. Their fantasy section is just pathetic. It makes me sad in my Barnes & Noble, but that's what I got. I'm gonna do some reading now. That's the point of this vlog. I'm gonna start reading the Hunger of the Gods book. Hunger of the Gods? Why does that sound weird? The Hunger of the Gods. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, cheers. I will check in later. Hunger of the Gods. I finished it. I actually finished it on Thursday. What's that? The 7th? Today is Saturday the 9th? Yeah, today is Saturday the 9th. You guys, it was amazing. It was amazing. John Gwynne is a new favorite fantasy author for me. This book was so good. So let's talk about it. The characters, I love them. I love all of the points of view. This might be just a little spoiler if you have not finished the first book or haven't read the first book. I am going to talk about the points of view that continued over into the second book. So if you don't want to know that, I'll put a little teeny mini spoiler note at the bottom of the screen, and you can kind of forward a little bit, but because some people may not want to know that. But here it goes. Alvar, Varga, and Orca continue on into the second book, and I loved their points of view. Every single one of them, in addition to the 2 new points of view that are in this book. And while I'm not sure that I like them as human beings, I love their characters in this book. I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to spoil it, but one of them at the end of the first book does a pretty horrible thing, and we get their point of view in this book, and it's kind of like this behind the scenes on the other side, I guess, of the war, if you would say, or the impending war. And then the second new point of view is just the biggest freaking jerk, I swear. They carry over from the first book. They are so selfish, but self-preserving, because this person lasts for a very long time, and they do some jacked up things, and they have this like internal monologue that reminded me immediately while I was reading it. I was like, this person is so, if you've read the first Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, Glocka is one of my favorite characters in a fantasy book, I think, so far that I can even think of. And he does this, he has a lot of like internal monologue that is hilarious. And this new character or new point of view in The Hunger of the Gods kind of has that same thing. Not as well as Glocka, because I don't think anybody could top him. But this person in Hunger of the Gods, so basically they'll say something ignorant in their head and then completely contradict it when they open their mouth to talk. So it's funny. If you know, you know. But it's very entertaining. And I did appreciate their point of view. They are slimy. They do some jacked up things, and I understand why they do it. They want to live, they want to survive, but it doesn't excuse the fact that they're jerks. So yeah, those are the points of view. Those are the characters. Each character still kind of has their own journey in the storyline. There's vengeance, there's rescue missions, there is some character development. Is it like a complete transformation? No, not really. Maybe a little bit with Varga, because he starts off as a slave and then he becomes, I can't talk about that because that might be a spoiler. The setting, I continue to love this Norse setting. I love the way John Gwynne interweaves the things that they're wearing, their armor, the way they wear their hair, what the climate is where they are, what the sea smells like when they're on these dracars, if I'm saying that right. I just love it so much because it gives you such a wonderful visualization of what's going on in the story, and it literally puts you in the story. I remember there's a scene where one of the crews is kind of camped out almost and getting ready for battle. One of the characters is like pacing back and forth, and they talk about like where they are, what it looks like, how cold it is, what they're wearing, the anxiety and the nervousness that they're feeling as this like scene is about to begin. And I felt it. I mean, it was, his writing style is so amazing. I love it so much. And I could just picture every single thing that was happening. John Gwynne's writing style in this book is so easy to understand. The flow of the story is not super complicated. When I said before that I didn't think that this would be a good book for a beginner fantasy reader, I don't necessarily mean that the writing style is super complicated. I just, in the scope of like how epic it is and with all the different characters, and there's a lot of like creatures and Norse words that are introduced that may seem overwhelming for someone who's never read a fantasy book before, but I do actually, if you're up for the challenge, I actually think that this is a good place to start if you're up for the challenge, because of the way John Gwynne writes. it's just easy. It's the flow is so manageable that you don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the story. So I definitely recommend it if you're up for the challenge as a first fantasy book for you. The storyline and the plot itself with all of the characters, they slowly really begin to merge together, and it's so cool to see, like, when I could tell that some of the characters were getting ready to kind of meet each other or cross paths, like that excitement was building. I was like, oh my gosh, they're getting ready to meet. It's so good. And it kind of, and I don't know why I kept thinking of this, but it kind of reminded me of Song of Ice and Fire, the way that J.R.R. Martin writes, and all of the different plot lines that were going on, and then how they kind of started to merge together, and how cool that was. While this story is nothing like that at all, just the way the characters and the storyline started to blend together. I just really, really enjoyed that so much. It's much more so in this book than in the first book, because in the first book it didn't happen until, I want to say, like the last 50 pages, but there's a lot more overlapping in this book as opposed to the first one. And just some of the storyline in general, there's these creatures that John Gwynne talks about. I don't know if they're real Norse mythological creatures, but some of them are really creepy. Some of them are disgusting. This book can definitely get gory at parts. I mean, kind of to the point where I was like cringing and like, ugh, the way that he was describing some of these creatures and what they do. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. But it's enjoyable, but it's nasty, it's gross. And obviously I thoroughly enjoyed it because I have a problem. But my rating, I gave this a 4.5 stars. Not 5 stars, just because there was a little bit of pacing issues in the middle of the book where I felt like some scenes were really dragged out, and I feel like they could have definitely been condensed a little bit. Not that I didn't enjoy them, but it was just like kind of just went on longer than it needed to. And then some of the dialogue with some of the characters, and I don't want to say what, there's specific characters that I felt like their dialogue was almost juvenile, and I wanted more from them just because of who they were in this story. That's all I'll say, because I'm trying not to spoil it for you guys. But overall, this book is amazing. I am so glad that I finally started to read John Gwynne books. I can't wait to go back and read the Faithful and the Fallen series because I just love his writing, and I'm so excited to see where this story goes and what happens in book 3, because it ended, I don't even know, like the ending was kind of insane. So that's all I got. This was kind of a lame vlog because I didn't really check in that often. I just read the book. It's like 700 pages. I didn't really want to check in too much. I just wanted to get through it because it was so good. I couldn't put it down. It took me a couple days because the weather here in Maryland has been freaking terrible. It's rained for like 4 days. I was starting to like get in a mood. And yeah, so I figured I would just do one last summary. Overall, I enjoyed it. I really love it. It comes out on April 12th, which is this coming Tuesday. So definitely check it out. If you haven't read the first book, I highly encourage you to try it. It is an amazing fantasy book, and I don't know how many times I can say it, but John Gwynne is just definitely one of my new favorite authors. So as always, thank you guys for stopping by. I will see you guys again next time. See ya.